We are here. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Really sorry. Really sorry. I hope this is going live because using a new laptop. So let's see what happens. I guess it looks like we're streaming.
We're on the
Yes,
screen.
it's
We're on the screen.
success. Success has actually worked. Yes.
Quickly
Okay.
talk about everything before it crashes. Go.
So this is the post-match fan phone in, and I'm here as always with my co-host. It's Mark Ryman. How we getting on, Mark?
Yeah, if you've not noticed, I'm wearing my 2019-2020 Great Escape home kit to emphasise the result and the importance of the next few weeks. Bloody hell. It's stressful being a Luton fan, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Oh wait, I'm being told that I sound really robotic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to
Just normal.
remove one of these. Hang on. Which one? I'm going to remove.
Me?
No. Well, I could remove you. Is it better now or better without? I don't know. Should be fine. Should be fine now, shouldn't it? I've muted myself on one of my things. Hopefully, it still is coming through. Honestly, technically, it's always the case. Let me know. Is this better now, everyone? Give us a thumbs up in the chat if this is better. Is it better?
Better. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tyler says better. I'd just
Yeah,
like to
lovely.
put everyone to point out that all I do during these moments is I sit here in front of my computer screen after turning it on and putting Discord on, and that's it, and drink beer while I wait for Ollie to go around and
Uh,
say loads of technical stuff. That's
that
generally what happens.
Well, you think it's technical
So,
stuff. You think it's technical
well,
stuff.
I'm not really listening.
It's me. It's me just fanning about.
Yeah,
Like
well, I'm
Colton
trying to be
Morris up
kind.
top. You know.
Oh God, no! We're not digging about a single player today. After that, thank you very much. God, we're going to need him now as well with Eli injured, aren't we?
Yeah, Eli's
Should we talk about the
injured.
game?
Jacob Brown's injured. I think it's just Lassie
Yeah.
Nordas and Colton Morris. Yeah, but I think that's why we're here. We're here to talk about the game and our thoughts about what's
We
going
are.
on at Luton. It was an all right game, wasn't it, Ryman?
I was really pleased. I was really impressed. I thought we were excellent. We posed enough of a threat on the counter attack, which is really all we could have expected against a good Leeds side. Yes, they're having a wobble, but they're still Leeds. As you said in your post match, they've still got bloody good players. What's really impressed me, and I said this a couple of times online, is over the last 4 games, you can probably count the amount of saves that Kaminsky has had to make on one hand. And it just shows how excellent the whole of the defence are. I think Mikoso is going to get the headlines because he is just so bloody good, isn't he? And that last ditch tackle. But I think the whole of the defensive line, I think Amari Bell has to take credit. I know Sai mentioned it, and he'll be on the chat in a bit because I was asking for some talking points. For me, from where he was, he really was fantastic. And considering he had, James on that side as well. Yeah, I was really really impressed. Other players I thought were excellent. Asgard, Walsh, both of them. Asgard obviously got man of the match. I thought Walsh was brilliant. I think I mentioned it maybe in our preview that I thought the biggest worry I had in midfield against Leeds that we didn't have a player like Alan Campbell to sort of nip in and win the ball. And he did exactly that. Walsh was brilliant at doing it, and he wound their players up as well. Yeah, great. And then Eli's best performance in their town shirt for a long time. Obviously, typically, then he gets himself injured, and we'll see. It didn't look good though, did it? I would say this: I had a pop at Norgard after the last game or post match, but I thought he was very good when he came on. Actually,
Nordvad.
I thought he looked a real threat.
Nordvad.
Hmm?
Nordas. You call him Norvad.
Oh, okay. Must have been the signal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blame
Must have been the
OBS.
signal.
Blame the internet.
Yeah. I'm blaming your internet. Yeah. But I thought it was very good. I thought it was good, and so that gives me some hope. I was really pleased, and I think there was a few people a bit down about the fact that other teams picked up results. Look, as much as we want everyone around us to lose, it's not going to happen. As you said, the bottom teams are in the top of the form table at the end of the season. All right, Oxford's result was a bit of a shock. Everything else was kind of like, yeah, that's probably likely to happen. And we could have be talking today about a 6 point gap, couldn't we? Considering the other teams, and we're talking about a 2 point gap. For me, that's fantastic. It really is. Of course, Stoke's a must win. Tuesdays, I'm already absolutely shitting myself about Tuesday. But it was always going to be a must win. But we're bloody in with it. I really am starting to believe we could do this now. Right.
Yeah, it's the hope.
Anyway,
It's the hope. It's the hope that kills you, isn't it? Yeah,
it will kill me. It will kill me as well. Yeah, as Kate was saying earlier about doing something for the nerves, I am struggling at the moment. I tell you what, I am really struggling. The last sort of 20 minutes against Leeds as well. I mean, we did very well, but Christ, it's hard to watch, isn't it? It's really bloody stressful. Tuesday's going to be no better.
Even though the defense is doing much better, and
they are.
It's one of those where under Rob Edwards, well, like even at the beginning of we've actually been defensively relatively sound. Other than the Oxford game, we've been relatively sound under Bloomfield. He's gone back to basics. But like 20 games ago, that is the type of game where we score first and then Leeds respond by scoring 5.
Yeah.
And defensively, we look, sound.
Really sound, and let's not underestimate this. Even though Leeds have had a wobble, they're still scoring goals for fun. They're just conceding them. Yeah. There's not many teams in this entire league that would have kept Leeds to the amount of chances they had in that game. Let's be absolutely honest. There's not many teams. You probably put Burnley and Sheffield United, and that's it. That's how impressive it was for me. It really was. Apart from the Solomon chance towards the end of the game, for me that was it. Really, I don't think we had far more clear-cut chances than them. So
was it Solomon that put the ball past the
I think
side?
So.
I thought it was Bamford's, but I was unsure.
No. It wasn't Bamford. No, I'm pretty sure it was Solomon. Bamford did have a sort of turn and shot just after he came on.
Kaminsky saved it, didn't he?
Almost got through. Yeah. Kaminsky saved it. He put it straight at Kaminsky. But so I'm pretty sure. Feel free, anyone in the chat, to correct, but I'm pretty sure it's Solomon that flashed it wide. But yeah, that was it for me, and that is bloody impressive. It really is from top to bottom. So yeah, I'm feeling more positive than this time last week, and to be honest, I think our next phone in, we'll all know whether we're staying up or not. I really do, because the next 2 games are that important.
Yeah. I hope. Thank God we're not doing one after Stoke, because the nerves could be like, we don't know what's going to happen. Right, let's get our first caller in. Right, you drag him in.
Yeah, I'll drag him in.
Drag him in.
Right, so
Hello.
Oh, there we go. I thought there was another problem.
Yeah, no. There are no technical difficulties. This is absolutely
no technical
fine.
problems.
No, never. When have there ever been technical problems?
Not once that I can ever remember.
No, it's never happened. This is the most technically sound podcast you'll ever see.
Listen, and that's true when it's coming from the man who said football is played on paper, so you can trust it.
It's been a very long day. So I've started a new job, and my mental faculties are of course I've got tons of excuses. My mental faculties are getting pushed to the boundaries right now. So yeah, I can't remember if football's played on paper or grass.
Right, so let's talk about this, shall we? I think we're going to stay up. I do. And you get sucked back into it, don't you? But I'm not being funny or nothing. We are playing light years ahead of where we were playing 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
We look like an actual cohesive unit. We look like we know what we want to do. We have Chris Macosso I say Christ all the time. I think it's better.
Come on, let's call
What?
him what he is. Christ.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Christ. He's the savior. He's the savior. He's the Messiah.
I'm really happy. I said it last week. It's very nice to get back to a fundamental of Luton Town, which is being hard to break down, not being played straight through. And I've really enjoyed seeing the defensive performances that evaporated when we went up to the Premier League. Because although we were managing to score in the Premier League, we were conceding. We've been conceding goals for fun now for 18 months it was before we started putting these results together.
Yeah.
And Elijah, fantastic. He was fantastic with that goal, setting up that goal initially. It's just his luck to get injured. It's the Elijah tax, isn't it? He always gets one a year.
I said it in my post-match, didn't I? Like, if you think back to when we hit the playoffs for the first time in the Championship, he was brilliant, and then he got injured. And in the Premier League, he was brilliant, and then he got injured. And this season, just as he's starting to bubble, he gets injured. That's the way. That's the way. I think he's only had one full season of clean health since he's joined us.
Sounds about right.
It's quite concerning. But now I've actually put it into the ticker. Who starts up top, Si?
Morris. Why not go to one and give an extra man in the mid?
Yeah, like you think maybe Chong, and I've been calling for Chong and Asgard. Like, to be honest, I don't want to see Morris. I don't know. I'm not bashing Morris. He can't run anymore. Like, we know that. He can't run anymore. And I want to see Morris just stand in one position and have players buzzing around him. That's what I want to see. Yeah? Sorry, is my signal still here? Hello.
Yeah, your brain's dropped a bit there.
Of course I did. Technical difficulties, of course. Right. Yeah, what I was saying was, what I want to see is Morris just stand in one position, win knockdowns, not have to run around anywhere, and just play it off to other people.
Yeah, from what I gather, because the brain will drop in there, you've got Morris static somewhere in the middle. Morris needs to be in the box more. That's where Morris needs to be, really. Just if he can't run anymore, he needs to be in the box.
I think it's size. It's your internet, Si. It's not mine. It's yours.
No, it's yours, Ollie. No, it's yours.
I haven't dropped a frame yet. I'll have you know. It says drop frames 0 drop frames.
I can hear Ryman fine.
Well, so the way this works,
in that case,
is I have the interface on my computer. Both me and Ryman are going through Discord, so it makes no sense that you can hear Ryman but not me.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Well, anyway, I'll add to the point about Morris because I think it's an important one. My only worry about an extra midfielder is exactly that. When Morris has been playing with, I think it was it Chong for a bit that he was up front with on Saturday. That there were crosses going in the box and there was really not many people there, and it does worry me that him on his own up front. For someone who isn't scoring goals, as much as I do think he's improved, and we're in agreement about this side. But do you rely on him as a sole striker, or do you put him up front with Ali or Chong? I prefer Ali on the wing or as a wing back if we're chasing the game, to be honest. But it would be good to see. Both Chong and Asgard on the pitch, particularly from an attacking point of view. However that works. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's Eli, does it? So it's going to be one of those.
He's captain. He's going to start.
Yeah, of course he's going to start. No, it's not that he's not going to start. It's more about whether he plays on his own up front or whether he plays as part of the two. Of course he's going to start. I would start him anyway. But it's concerning when you those crosses going in, and as Ollie says, he's not in the box often enough, and that is a fair criticism to have of him this season. So. I think there's been a bit more end product now from our players. There was at the weekend, wasn't there? Obviously, the Clark cross for the goal. I think Isaiah Jones over the last couple of games that he's played, the Borough one and this one, has found a better finish or end product as well. But we need
Yeah,
players in the
definitely.
box. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
so, yeah, exactly. So it's just that really. I think.
If
I think.
we are
Yeah,
going to
go on.
have
Sorry.
problems. We're going to have problems at that end of the field until next season. I think that's a given at this stage. We're going to have issues at the top of the field, at least for the rest of this season. There's not much left to go, but we're now relying on our Isaiah Joneses and our Asgards and Clark to hopefully just drag us over the line. Because I think we're gonna. I think I've seen enough now of how we're playing to think that we're gonna get out of it. By the skin of our teeth, maybe, but I do think that we're gonna survive.
Well,
And
it's got to be.
I want to say one more thing, right? Amari Bell, right? I think he's been much better recently. And I think that Amari Bell may be a bit miffed with some people in the fan base, me being one of them.
You
But
mean
after the
because
game,
he's passive aggressively liking tweets?
yeah, but after the game, and I got about like 10 minutes after the game, Amari did go on social media and he was liking tweets, including mine, where I said I'm looking forward to seeing Mengi, Makoto, and McGuinness. And like Amari, it was no shade at you, man. I love you for what you've done in the club, but I don't really think that's helpful.
Well,
Yeah,
look, I mean, if
he
your
tries.
tweet gives him a point to prove and play well, then so be it. I don't care.
It weren't just me. He liked a few different ones. I know that much.
Yeah,
So, as
but
you
you want,
said, if it helps him, fair
yeah,
enough. But I just think
sod
that
it.
he should be
Keep
above
doing
it.
it. Yeah, can you just say that you want Lassie Nordasser to start instead of Morris because he'll score more goals as well? That'd be great, mate. Keep it going. But look, one thing, just to pick you up on one thing that you said about scoring goals, because obviously that is our biggest weakness. But as we've said, our defence is so much better than we ever could have predicted it to have been, that we don't need to score as many goals as we thought we would have to win a game anymore.
I'm
Most of
happy
the
to
time,
sit
one
on
will
squad
do it.
deals all year.
Yeah. And that will be the case against most teams other than Leeds. That one will be enough if we defend like that. So, as long as we get even if it's the one at Hull, I don't care as long as we get it.
Yeah,
So
same.
yeah, you're
I
right.
do think we're
Yeah.
going to be all right, though, lads. I'm feeling a lot more positive now because I was resigned to going down.
Yeah.
Absolutely given up. And fair play to Bluefield because he's getting a note out of these players I didn't think would make music again together.
It's about
No, I
it's
completely
about
agree.
taking it one game at a time right now. That's it. One game at a time, and the next game is Stoke. Do you reckon we can win that?
Listen, if we could do it on a Tuesday night in Stoke, then I think we'd be all right.
Just ticking the cliches off.
Indeed. It just so
Of course.
happened to work.
Oh, thank you very much for joining us, Si. We'll get the next person on now.
Have a good evening,
Appreciate
guys.
it, mate.
Cheers, Tom.
See you
Thanks.
later.
I'll drag you out.
There we go. Dragged him
Yeah.
right out. I understand my maybe I'm having issues with my laptop. By the way, people are being told that it's low res and it's a bit choppy. I will sort it. I will. I'm trying to sort it while Ryman and the people are talking. But
Well, I gabble on.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's perfect.
It got better. Yeah, well, you know me. I'm always happy to gabble on. I think
Yeah.
one thing, I'm sure people will bring this up anyway, but one thing that we have got to overcome is a 3-game week, and yeah, as good as we are after the international break, that seems to be the opposite with the 3-game week, and we have to overcome it quick against Stoke and then again against Blackburn, don't we?
Absolutely. And Blackburn, I think Blackburn's a good one to have up after Stoke, especially if we beat Stoke and then we can take that into Blackburn because Blackburn are absolutely
Huge.
shocking at the
Yeah.
moment. But they're going to turn up against us, but they don't
Yes, they
have
will.
the benefit of their talisman, Corley Woodrow, to call on because
Thank goodness he's missing. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, yeah. Right. We'll bring Tyler in. Some of the
Yeah.
comments though. Mark Cheatham, same with Jones. Nice to see him score. Other than that, he was average. I think that's fair. Look, let's not forget he had a very tough game against Junior Firpo, who's probably the best left
I was
back.
going to say exactly the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah, he's probably the best
Yeah.
left back in the championship. And remember, I think Firpo came from Barcelona. He's
Yeah.
legitimately a
Look,
very good player. And
yeah.
Jones couldn't get forwards, but the one time he went forward, he scored a goal. And he ghosted in completely unmarked to the back stick to volley it in, not header it in, as I said in my post match. But there was a pillar
Yeah.
in the way, so that is all I'm going to say
right.
about that. Yeah, he's
That's all right. Well, yeah, exactly as you said, but he was tracking back brilliantly, especially in the second half. I don't think Firpo got in anywhere near as much in that half, so he's got to do it's got to be a defensive job against a player like that, and I
yeah.
thought he did well.
He was going backwards, and the fact that no one noticed him
Yeah.
meant that he was doing his job. He was tucking in, he was covering. I think that was good. And a lot of hate for Nordas. Nordas doesn't look like the answer either. Then Stevie says, I'm not sure Nordas is a footballer. He looks like he won a competition to play for a few minutes.
I think that's harsh. Look, he hasn't looked great, but then he's come from the Arctic Circle in pre-season. I don't know what we were really expecting, but I mean, I thought he had a better cameo in this game in the few chances that he got in holding the ball up than he had done in the previous few. He made a good turn in the box and almost created a very dangerous chance. I think it was well blocked in the end, right near the end. So keep doing that.
Yeah.
He's been unlucky. There's been a few last-ditch blocks that stop him scoring over the last few games. So yeah, he's not brilliant. I don't think anyone really expected him to be, but
No.
yeah,
No, of course not.
he's the option. So let's at the moment, as far as a number 9 goes, he's the option.
He is indeed. Right, we got our next caller in, and I'm going to try and sort out the audio sync issues. I don't know whether to do this while Ryman's talking to Tyler, because the whole thing might crash. So if the whole thing crashes, it's always a little bit out of sync anyway, because it's a live stream, and it's not a professional setup. Okay. I might just leave it, and to be honest, I can be slightly out of sync just for this show, and I'll resolve it for the next one. Okay, if you can bear with us for this 1 week, because I've had to transfer the whole setup onto a new laptop. I'm very sorry, but it's amazing I've even managed to pull this together, because I am not technically able in the slightest. So, right. We got Tyler on. Evening, Tyler.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Good evening. How are yourselves? You must be feeling much more positive now with Luton.
Hey, I was positive last week, Tyler. I was Mr. Positive last week, unlike Grumpy Guts over
well,
here.
Positivity. When have I ever been negative? What are you talking about? I've been sunshine and rainbows the entire season, mate.
Yeah, okay.
Especially since the first game of the season, and especially during pre-season. I never doubted us for 1 second, did I?
No, exactly. The great survival. That's what we were all hoping for at the start of the season, wasn't it? Anyway, Tyler, are we staying up? That's the big question, right? Are we staying up? What do you think?
Again, it's one of them, isn't it? Where you look at games like Tuesday, for example, and you think, well, if we can beat them like we did with Cardiff and Hull, they were sort of similar games, teams around us. We did beat them. Then I'd have a lot of confidence, because I think a lot of the games now at home, maybe bar Bristol City, because obviously they are fighting for playoffs. I think every other game is and Coventry, actually, I forgot about that game as well, is a good opportunity to win. Like, especially Blackburn, we got a good record at Kenilworth Road against them as well. And something I do want to mention as well, Ollie, I remember when I went on here, I think it was a few months ago, and you asked me when's the next away win going to be, and I actually said Cardiff, and it was. I forgot to bring that up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, well done, well done. Did you know that we were going to win the next away game as well?
I did actually say a 1-0 to us. So,
okay.
Against Hull, so... Yeah, no, I said a 1-1 yesterday as well. But yeah, it was one of them where, it's like you guys said, and I said it going into the game as well. You know, as much as Leeds have had a little dip, they're still, 3 games unbeaten. It's just 2 underwhelming draws for their standards. You know, before that, obviously the draw to Swansea and obviously QPR away, and then I felt for us, having that good momentum, it was a good opportunity to try and get something out of the game, and obviously, we did. And yeah, as much as Elijah's obviously not been great, I think he's performed better in the last 2 games. But obviously, the fans' frustration is still him not quite scoring. I do think him being out is a blow because it's another striker that's out. Obviously, we've got Brown out as well, and it's going to be interesting. I mean, for me personally, I don't really want to see one up front, and the only reason I say that is because I remember early on in the season as well, and even I think it was Bloomfield's first couple of games, we did play one up front and it didn't really work. And I just feel, especially if a player like Morris, say for example, if we did go with one up front, it would be him. He drops quite deep, and it's then you'll literally have no one there, and there won't be anything up front. So for me, I would still hope that we stick with 2, and then stick with that 3 in midfield in Clark, Asgard, and Walsh, because it is working at the moment. And
you're right.
I had my doubts when we first started playing it, only because there's not really, like you said earlier, Mark, there's not really like a Campbell type player there. There isn't that one who, can seem to do both. But as the weeks have gone on, Clark's shown that he can do that to a certain level. And the problem with it before is it was more so a 2 in midfield, and he was sort of, deeper, and it doesn't, if he can do a bit of both, it massively benefits his game.
Yeah. No, I mean Clark up further up the pitch is a different player, isn't he? But I think the redemption arc of Walsh shouldn't be underestimated in all of this as well. I mean, for me, I think he's been our most improved player since coming to the club. I really, and Ollie knows full well my thoughts on Walsh earlier in the season. And I think I made them pretty clear on here. But I think he's done the ugly side of the game, particularly against Leeds, brilliantly, as well as providing a threat from deep as well. We know he's got a shot on him, so that. Yeah, you're right. I didn't see that work in those 3 either. But all 3 of them have started to improve, and that was Asgard's best game for me in a Luton shirt. So, yeah, promising, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I say, well, I mean, it's like I've said on my channel and obviously elsewhere when I've spoken it. We're going into this now. 4 games unbeaten. Potentially have 4 wins, and realistically probably should have 4 wins. Should have beat Middlesbrough, but with our form throughout the season, 3 wins, 1 draw. It's our best, obviously, run. You can't really complain.
No, absolutely.
There's an interesting stat actually that was dropped on the Discord earlier, and I'll pull it up here. So over the first 36 games, first 34 games, points per game versus last 6 point per game. So Hull, first 34 games, 0.97 points per game compared to their last 6, which is 1.83. Stoke, 1.03 points per game for the first 34. They're up to 1.33 now over the last 6. Derby, 0.85 points per game, now up 2 points a game over the last 6.
Yeah.
Cardiff, 1.06 points per game, and now 0.83. So they've been just mediocre all season. Luton, first 34 games, 0.82 points per game, and now we're up to 1.83 over the last 6. So a massive improvement. Plymouth, 0.88 compared to 1.17 over the last 6 games. And the final table, Luton Town fans has done this as well, where he's said if the last 6 points per game continued for the rest of the season, it would put QPR in the relegation zone on 48 points. So QPR would have to get, the way they're going, they're on to get 2 points from their last 6 games. So there is a chance, because the way we're going, we can catch people. And that's just taking into account that we continue at this sort of 1.83 instead of getting 3 wins from our last 6. which would be 2 points per game. So, anything can happen right now. Sorry, I was rambling. I've done a lot of talking today. At least I don't sound like a robot. But
No, it's
yeah.
really interesting. It is really interesting, and that point on QPR. I mean, I mentioned it last week, didn't I? When Christian was on and said, actually, are they safe? And I don't think they are at all for the exact reason you just said. So we look all the way up to wherever they are in the league. Where are they? 17th, 16th? I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, there's still a lot of teams that could get dragged into this, and the odd win here and there is not necessarily anymore, the safety that it would have been with the teams in the bottom three playing as they were a month ago. Because yeah, it's been relentless from Derby and Luton, and even Plymouth are picking up as well.
I've actually dropped in the chat. Apologies for the formatting. It's horrendous. Yeah, Tyler. So, what do you reckon in terms of moving forwards for the rest of the season? Do you reckon Luton actually have enough to survive? I know you're being positive. I know you're being positive about you called the next home win and the next away win, and then you also you said we'd win the next away game. But do you genuinely believe it?
Well, the way I look at it is the defence is a lot more, steadier, and that is without who we thought would be the be all or end all in Naismith. He's only come on recently since obviously the Burnley sending off. I do still slightly have my worries about Bell this season, just in the sense of as much as he defends well, there's some passes he does that are a bit, risky. And there was one that he did yesterday. I think he recovered after potentially, but he done that against Cardiff away as well. And I just have my doubts there sometimes when he turns. So I think at some point, especially with Bristol City coming on a bit later on in the season, obviously Naismith won't be able to play that game. I feel we should probably put him back in for a game or two, just for that. And also we know with Bell as well, and I mentioned it on my channel, when he plays for Jamaica, sometimes in the first couple of games or the first game, he'll come back and get injured, especially in the recent times it's happened. So I'm just a bit wary of that as well on top of that. But, I look at that, it's just a scoring goals, isn't it, really? Obviously we did get a goal yesterday that wasn't an own goal. Jones done well, right place, right time, good confidence booster for him. But it's just up front, and it's like a lot of people have said, you want to see Morris being that presence in the box, and he's not. And his performances sort of reminded me like when Harry Kane plays for England, in the sense of dropping deep. And it's just it's frustrating because you want to see him in the box using his aerial threat, because like we say, that is what he's good at. And especially now with Elijah out, who do you go with? I mean, it's interesting to see who he will go with, because I think he will go two. I'm just not sure who the two will be. Definitely Morris. It's just who will the other one be?
I think it'll be Morris and Chong. I think that's who he'll go with. From what he was saying as well, I have a feeling he'll go with those two, which I don't mind. Chong's got a finish on him as well, which is good.
Has he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has got it on him. We've seen it. West Brom at home this season, I think, was the only time we've seen it this season. But he's got a finish on him. We know he can finish, but yeah. And he's got some pace. You can't argue with that. He's willing to take players on, and particularly, as we've all said, Morris has lost a lot of his. That's going to be important. But yeah, I feel like it'll be Chong, but we'll find out on Tuesday, won't we?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And the thing is, just quickly, if we do go with, like, say, for instance, Nordas and Morris, I feel they're quite similar. You want someone with, for me, a bit of pace, to obviously be there, because, like we say, we expect Morris to probably be dropping deep and things like that. So I'd be open to Chong playing there as well. Give it a go, see what happens, really.
It's not a position that he's never played before. He's played as a second striker or a shadow striker, or whatever the nomenclature is these days. He's done it before, so it's not alien to him. It's more a case of when it comes to take Doughty and Jones off to freshen up the wing play, who takes over. Like Ali's one of them, but who takes over on the other side? Is it Walters? Is it Hashioka? Mark's just going no. Is it like is it Bowler? Could be Bowler, but
That's who I would.
Bowler didn't come here to play right wing back, so
no, and Fanny didn't play to be in a relegation scrap, but here we are. I just think with 6 games to go, you kind of take what you can get now, don't you? I think if he's going to throw his toys out the pram at that, then well, fine, but he ain't getting in the squad any other way at the moment.
No,
he's the only option for me. But you're right. The full-back, wing-back situation has been an issue that we didn't solve. And it's one of the big issues that were still unsolved in January. So
maybe Bowler plays up top with Morris, and that will stop Morris from drifting out to the wing because Bowler will already be there. Who knows?
Yeah, but I don't want Chong right wing back. Thank you very much. Because I'm more than happy for Chong to take on players further up the pitch. But when he does it in our own third against Leeds, I nearly had a heart attack about 3 times in that game. So no, thank you. When he tried to clear it about 4 times, he was actually he was playing left back at that point. I don't know where he was in that position. And it was literally like coming back to him, and he'd try it again. It's like, mate, just kick it, please.
Lever it.
Kick
that way. That way.
Yeah. Oh my God. So no, thank you.
I know. Right, Tyler. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to get on because of the delay caused by my technical difficulties. We're running out of time as it is. Thank you very much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, bub.
Right, I'm trying to drag Tyler out.
I did it.
Yeah, you did
I
it.
did it.
Nice.
Like a bouncer, straight out.
Boom.
Not like a bouncer in any other way.
And Stewart. Yeah, so we'll bring the next person in. By the way, subscribe to Tyler's channel. He does watch alongs. Yeah, thanks, Kate. Put it in the chat. Good stuff. Check out Tyler on YouTube. He's been doing this longer than we have. Travels around, watches Luton, and he has he does vlogs, but he also does like fan cams where he interviews people outside the ground. It always seems to be the same guy, a bloke called Mike Fanning. But that guy Mike, he knows a lot about football. He's a good guy. Right, who have we got next in?
Ash and then LTFC.
Yeah, Ash. We'll keep it brief. Ash. I'm sure we're gonna hear all about the bucket of water. Good evening, Ash.
Evening, Ash.
You do an excellent job again, both of you.
I'm not this. I'm not tonight. I'm doing a terrible job.
Yeah, from 9:10 onwards. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. I just want to say, we really trashed them, didn't we?
Yeah. It wasn't bad, was it? It could have been worse.
What do you reckon about the referee? Do you reckon the referee was a bit dodgy this time?
Oh, he was terrible, wasn't he? But
it's like the Premier League referee, and especially in the second half, I think.
So, how many sending off do you reckon we should have had?
No, one.
Not from from Leeds.
That wasn't a red card. If you're going to say the tackle on Doughty,
it was. It was so high. It was so high. It was so late.
I've watched the replay. No, it was late. It was late, but it was a yellow. There's no way that was a red card. I'm sorry, that's not a red.
I've seen those given.
Well, maybe in the Championship, but yeah, no, not for me. But yes, inconsistent, definitely. Especially in that second half, giving Leeds everything and ignoring some absolute blatant ones for us.
And getting in the way as well. He was awful.
Did you both notice that because of what we were being so positive, they changed the goalkeeper?
Yeah, well, they sort of figured that our game plan, and we did it anyway with Darlow, like put the ball on top of the goalkeeper. And Darlow was good. I think where Darlow lacked was his distribution was terrible, especially playing it out from the back short to his own defenders. Like he put them under so much pressure, like failing to play a simple 5-yard pass properly. But otherwise, I think changing Melia out was the right call because, Darlow was obviously a much safer pair of hands, whereas Elijah would have bundled into Melia, knocks him into his own goal. So, yeah, fair play Leeds making that change. But it's funny.
I think.
Yeah.
Did you notice the Leeds manager was praising us how well we played, like we were playing like a Premier League team?
Well, we were a Premier League team. No, I didn't actually see that, or I haven't really heard much post match, to be honest. But fair play to him. Yeah.
I think. What do you think about? I wanted to ask you, Mark, and Ollie as well. What about Naismith? He's like a utility player. Do you think his legs have gone? Maybe he could play as a striker, maybe a little bit.
He's done it before.
He's done it before for Pompey. I think the last time he did it, maybe he's done it for us at one point as well, but I can't remember. He certainly, he's got the technical ability, but the thing was, we've been saying earlier that we need up there is pace, and obviously he's not got that. I think that would be the issue for me. I can see him holding the ball up well. I can see him in the midfield doing that kind of job as well. But at the moment, in those positions and at the back, I don't think you change it personally. I understand what people have been saying about Bell, and I don't necessarily disagree. But yeah, I think up front, my biggest issue, Ash, is lack of pace.
Do you think his pace is gone now? Do you think?
Yeah.
Did Naismith ever have pace?
Well, yeah. More than he has now, but yeah, you're right. He's never been a pace, is he? Yeah, you're right. He's technically brilliant, but we know that Morris is going to play, so it's with him, and for me, I just can't see that combination. It's not a bad shout though. I mean, he's got the technical ability, and we know he can put it in the back of the net.
Maybe what they could do, Ollie and Mark, maybe they could just swap it over sometime, maybe the last 20 minutes or so. We'll take Morris off and put Naismith in that position, maybe in the future, maybe.
Yeah, but you know what could work? Play Naismith instead of Morris.
That'd be good. That's what I was trying to say.
Or swap it around. Half time, because Morris looks absolutely knackered after half an hour. Just get Morris running around for an entire half of football. Get Naismith on as like a target man. I don't know. Try anything, because Elijah Adebayo is out potentially.
I also wanted to ask you both do you think like our reserve, have we got anyone who's got? Have you had the opportunity to maybe see an under-21s or like a striker or something in the reserve teams?
No, out on loan.
Yeah, they're all out on loan. Like Ollie Lynch is out on loan. We had can't think of that kid. Pepple. Pepple's actually doing all right, but he's working his way up the leagues now. But Pepple is someone that we could benefit from. If he was actually at a conference team, then we could call him back. But he's developing well. Joe Taylor, but unfortunately that's not a loan. Can't call him back anyway.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there's no one really. There's that kid we bought from Reading, who I keep forgetting his name because we bought him. He was injured. Taylor Harris, that's it. Maybe we'll see Taylor Harris on the bench. You never know, because it's not like there's anyone else.
What about the gentleman? Can they be recalled? The guy from Canada. We bought him from Canada.
No, because
Pepple.
Yeah, Pepple. We can't recall him. He's in League Two. If he was in the conference, we could recall him. Like Ollie Lynch, we can recall because he's at Hemel Hempstead. And we have a few other players out on loan as well. But no, there are no gems like John Hartson or Tony Thorpe waiting in the wings to just be brought in. I suggested it before. I'd love to see Bowler play as a forwards. Imagine a strike force of Cal Naismith and Josh Bowler. That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? I don't know. I think Morris is going to persist just because he is the captain, but I think in terms of leadership,
and because he's been doing okay,
he's
been doing well. I think he's doing well.
He doesn't want to get in the box. He doesn't run around enough. Like he runs around too much, and then he's knackered.
But you're right. I don't disagree with that point. But you are also underestimating how important he is playing that deep when we're defending. As well, I really think he holds the ball up,
and it means he's knackered. He can't get up the pitch
because he's doing it at the end of the game. Yeah, but you know, sometimes if we scored, that's where we need someone like that. But yeah, all right. Anyway, look, we had this last week. I don't want it again, but I think Morris keeps his place on merit. At the moment
stop digging out Colton Morris, Mark. Jeez.
Yeah, you know me, just constantly having a bash at Carlton Morris.
Okay, so I would like to ask you both, right? Do you both think we've got enough ammunition to beat this team on Tuesday?
They picked up in form as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
very unlucky not to win.
Maybe it's Taylor Harris's time to shine. He'll start up top with Colton Morris. Who knows?
Yeah. I think it's difficult for anybody to be really confident in our strike force. Let's be honest. It is difficult.
I think my first personal opinion is I think we should freshen it up, get rid of Morris, put him on the bench, and just put Bowler and Naismith up front just for the first, say, 40, 50 minutes and see how it goes. Just freshen it up and maybe find a gem in the under 21s just to be on the bench for Elijah's place. You know,
well, they got to bring someone in from the. They got to bring someone in from the under 21s because there's no other forwards. Like Brown's out, Elijah's out. Yeah, they got to bring someone in from the under 21s. Hopefully, it's not a case of they're going to bring James Shea for the bench like they did in the. Instead of bring a kid from the development squad, let's put a second keeper on the bench. That's not going to accomplish anything. It's time. It's time to play a someone. Play Benny Benegard. Play Taylor Harris. Play. God, who's the other kid? Matthew Takawira, I think his name is. Play any attacker. Phillips. Play Phillips. He's already played. No. Put him on the bench. Put him on the bench.
At the last, say, 20 minutes of the game, get one of the under 21s players more. We don't need defensive players. We need forward players.
Play attackers. Get attackers from the youth team. You've got 7 players on the bench. Might as well use up those those spaces instead of putting putting another goalkeeper on. Ash. We're gonna boot you because we got one more caller before we jet. We got about 10 minutes to go because we started a bit late.
So you want to know what the score is going to be then?
Oh, go on. What's the score going to be, Ash?
I reckon we're going to trash them again.
What?
We'll trash them as well.
What? 4-0, 5-0?
Well,
we ever trash though.
No.
Well, I think we can do it.
Actually, not there.
We can. We just got to be positive. We can still trash these lot. Leeds really got trashed, didn't they? It's just because of the referee helped them get through the line to see. So I personally think we will trash this team as well, but only, the referee only helps those teams to see. If you notice, he's the referee who lets them get away with it. You see.
No, very good points. Yeah, we're gonna trash them.
I think we're gonna win.
Yeah.
I think Blackburn will be easy. I think.
Don't say that. Don't say that. No. But bye, Ash. Have a good evening, mate. we're not jinxing anything. Yeah, we're not jinxing things. There are no easy games.
Easy.
This is a team. This is a team that goes up against. When we're in the Prem, we played League 2 opposition and got dumped out the FA Cup, or we're in the Championship, go to a conference team and have a hard time. We struggle. We are a football team that made mountains out of molehills. We are absolutely shocking like that. Good point from Kate here. Stick Zach Nelson up there. Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I would say this. I don't know. Someone please let us know in the chat, or you can, Ollie, whether Bowler was actually even on the bench because of all the players we have back on Saturday anyway.
That's players to fill the bench. That is a good point. That is a good point. I don't even know. I don't even know if Bowler was on the bench.
Bearing in mind, Mengi might be on the bench as well. I mean, we're going to end up with just defenders, right? But yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Here's one. What's happened to Mads Anderson? Have they put him down yet?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's time to say goodbye.
Matt said Bowler was on the bench. Yeah, I think Mads Anderson's been turned into pedigree chum, to be honest.
Yeah. We've got too many Scandinavians now. Maybe there's a maximum limit. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's that.
It's like a sauna. Only 5 people can be in there at one time.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. Right. We got Stevie in. Stevie, good evening, mate. You're our final caller for the evening. You got to unmute, Stevie. Stevie.
Can you hear me now?
Hear me now. Yeah, we hear you.
Hear me now. Hello from a very humid West Yorkshire Leeds night. I've just got back to Leeds now, and my voice has gone from screaming at Carlton Morris yesterday to stand in the box, Morris. Just stand in the box.
He's allergic. Do you want him to die of anaphylaxis? He can't cross that 18-yard box. See, Ryman, this guy knows what he's talking about.
They are going to have to draw channels down the side of the pitch and tell him if he goes into those channels, he's going to get a fine. Okay, Carlton, stand in the box and wait for the little white ball to flick over, Booyah. Just stand there and be a good lad.
What they need to do is they need to get a nail, drill it into the floor, and attach a bungee cord to it, about 10 yards of bungee cord. And put it into the penalty spot. So essentially, he cannot run too far from the penalty spot.
Yeah. You guys know we're playing Leeds, right, though? Yeah.
Oh, look.
But he's doing this every game.
No. Look, I agree with you about... I've already agreed with you about the box thing, but you are ignoring the other positives from his game over the last 2 games.
He's got a great defensive mindset. One thing I will say, right, is I do have to defend the Nordas comment I made. We haven't seen enough of him yet. I firmly believe that if he plays his part well, he could become the next Kurt Nogan for us. 4 years, 30 games, 2 goals, mountain of a man.
Current strikers rate at the moment for us. That's
next Kurt Nogan. And I tell you what. And I tell you what, right, is I'm going to say I disagree with some people. Kate's got it bang on. Zach Nelson might be the little prodigy to come in for the remaining games of the season, I think. But I wouldn't disrupt the squad. I think there's a great mentality in all seriousness at the moment. They're really fighting for each other. There's still the odd mistakes, and we are kicking water uphill a little bit in some areas. But they are fighting for each other. I'd freshen it up, and look, I'd say to Morris, yeah, stay in that box, mate. Just wait for the ball. I'd love to see another attacker just behind him, someone like Ali. You got Asgard, Walsh, Clark, Ali just floating about behind there, playing a little Jacob Brown role. Because when Brown was in, he was always playing in that sort of deeper, sort of forward role. Well, he wasn't up top, so to speak. So I wouldn't want to see the squad disrupted too much. There's no need to try anything outrageous. I think we've got a good squad of players that will come in, and they're professional footballers. And I'm sick to death of hearing how, Bowler's only a particular player for this wing. You're getting paid a stupid amount of money, which we're all going to see next April when it's all published for this season, I'm sure. But
we won't, because it's all squished into one, mate. All of that money squished into one. It's called wages.
We need to start rooting through players' bins to see if we can find some pay slips. Just start outing people. But I think we just need to, it's going well at the moment. I personally don't think we'll stay up, because I came to terms with being in League One many, many, many months ago. Obviously I want us to stay up, but I just don't think we will.
I agree with you. We've left it too late.
Yeah, it's great. And you know what I'm going to say, don't you, Ollie? I say it to you all the time, mate. If we change the manager after the 5-1 Borough, we wouldn't be in this position now. We'd be sitting pretty mid-table easily. We might even have a little bit of a stab, because the league is so bad this year, from 5th down to 18th. That even Watford can still reach the playoffs if they were to win every game and a couple of results go their way. It's such a close league. It's a shame, And I said to you, Ollie, the other day when when they released a statement saying that they wish they'd reinforced more for the January transfer window in the Premier League, and I said to you, I can't wait for them to get to this point next year and say, yeah, we probably should have acted a bit sooner with the Rob Edwards thing.
I fundamentally disagree with you, Stevie. I think Rob Edwards should have been given more time.
Oh, there you go.
Would have turned it around.
He was, milling around. I've heard Rob Edwards might be the new director of football. Head of recruitment. Anyway, there you go. But I'm not going to waffle on for ages. I'm back in Leeds now, and I'm very much looking forward to work tomorrow at the good old University of Leeds, where I will be hammering it home. Even though it was a draw, it felt like a win, and my voice is gone because I haven't celebrated a goal like that for some time.
I know, same.
The Premier League goals were never celebrated with such a visceral kind of, energy, because there was always that it might be disallowed in 2 minutes time, Once it's in the Championship, you look at the linesman and you're like, nope, that's in, that counts. I've got a few bruises on my leg, but I'll be going to work tomorrow because I do think we gave Leeds a really good game, and the squad we've got and the style of football Matt Bloomfield's finally getting in, and you can tell he's going to build a great squad. I'm excited for next year, no matter what league we're in, because I think Bloomfield's, really he's going to be good for this club. I think he's got a good footballing brain on him, and you can see the kind of play he wants to put together. He's just got to work with some of the old ones we've got at the moment, and I think he'll build his own sort of legacy here. And I think we gave Leeds a good game. I don't agree that the referee helped Leeds at all. I think the referee was just poor, full stop.
Yep.
He didn't know where he was putting fouls or decisions. There's one in the second half where I don't know who went down, Asgard, thought it was a foul for us, and then the referee walked 15 yards away and gave a foul to Leeds for something else. It's and I tell you now, a lot of friends up here were worried about playing Luton for the idea that bottom of the table and you really fight for it this time of year. But they heard the referee was from Sheffield. He refereed one Leeds game before, sent a player off, and Leeds lost for a dubious goal. So they were nervous about it. So I think, to say that the ref wanted Leeds to win or was helping them, I don't think that's the case. The referees are shocking. They are just absolutely shocking anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree with that point. And I also agree about the team spirit. It's something I was going to mention when Ash was on anyway, but I think that's a really good point. We don't want to change things around too much at the moment. Right. We've got momentum, and we regardless of individual errors, and of course it's not perfect, as you said, I think the momentum is there. Just out of interest, I quite like the idea of Ali just behind the front two, but who do you take out? Because I would say that was Asgard's best game. So who are you taking out of the midfield to do that?
I'm probably, you're going to think I'm mad with this, but with Elijah not playing, I'd name an unchanged team for Tuesday, and in place of Elijah, I'd have Ali in.
Okay. That's not mad.
I just think that he gets the ball on the edge of the area, he runs at defenders, he terrifies them. And that's not what we were doing earlier in the season. Asgard can stop on a, I don't know what the phrase is, stop on a penny, can't he? Stop and turn on a penny with the ball. Whatever it is. I'm not that old, Ollie. But
gross.
Yeah, he was amazing. Clark was good. There's a new energy. You can really see it. I'm really excited by watching Luton again for the last 5 matches, but it's too late, I think. It's nice to see where we could be next year, in terms of playing football, style of play. I think we'll, some exciting football to come. I just think it's a bit too late. We'll go down on goal difference, I reckon. That'll be the real kicker, all those horrible...
we're not that far away, on goal difference from Derby and a couple of others. We're not too far away. Cardiff, I think, and Derby we're not too far away from. I think it's only like 9 goals or something this week.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot, but that's a couple of 3 games possibly, depending on who they're playing. So,
9 goals.
I mean, we're only winning by the odd one.
Yeah, well, where are we going to turn over a 9-goal differential?
We've got 6 games. We've got 6 games left. That's what I'm saying. So, as long as we keep stopping them from going in our net, then there's every chance. But you're right. It's going to be tough. I don't think... I think we will do it but regardless, it's going to be tough. I don't think anyone's under any illusions that it's going to be an easy job. But you're right. Regardless, there is the blueprint for a good season next year, and finally the spine of a decent team, which is what we've been missing as well. We can actually build a team around some of these players.
and it's an energy. The energy in the team at the moment is fantastic. The energy in the stands is better. It's back, and we're not all moaning as much on social media, So things feel like they are changing, aren't they? And it is a nice little run we're putting together, but I do think it might just be a little bit too late. A couple of games earlier have been all right, but Matt Bloomfield needs his first 8, doesn't he? No matter where he goes, his first 8 games or something. Yeah. They're always awful. Colchester, Wickham, and then he turns it around. But anyway, I've got to go to work, so I'll leave you guys to it. Thanks for having me.
Enjoy walking in like Conor McGregor tomorrow at Leeds, mate.
I'm going to go full kit in tomorrow. Full kit. And they'll say, you're mad. It was only 1-1.
Yeah.
Beautiful moral victory.
Make sure you bring plenty of bottles with you.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
See ya.
Cheers, mate.
Right. I think that was, after a rocky start, I think that was quite a successful phone-in. Funnily enough.
We're still here, which is better than I thought it would go.
I know. Yeah. Well, it's because I didn't start fiddling around with the things and the settings. So I'll figure it all out for the next one, and I'll probably delete stuff from this computer to make it run more seamlessly, and I'll see what I can do. But as always, I just want to plug the Luton Town show that is dropping tomorrow live from the Brickies. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. Tell your friends and watch it or listen to it because it's a lot of fun. And the Champ Chat, it dropped earlier today. It's a lot of fun. But also a big thank you to everyone in the chats. Really appreciate you keeping it going and bearing with us as I was fanning about with all the technical stuff on this side. Really appreciate it. Mark, anything you want to say to the gathered masses before we jump off to bed?
The faith. Keep it. Keep it.
Keep it.
Momentum.
Keep it.
Luton Town are best when we are together as a team, and this team is together. There's every chance we can do this, but we have to bloody win on Tuesday. Turn up at Stoke, sing loud, and hopefully we can resurrect the spirit of Danny Hilton and win.
It's that simple. Let's bring Danny Hilton back. He loves scoring.
No.
But you heard it here first. Ryman said, let's bring back Danny Hilton. He looks about 10 years younger.
Yeah, he's been to Turkey, hasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, remember what Ryman just said. Keep the faith. Come on, you Hatters. Thank you all for tuning in. And remember, subscribe for even more Luton Town content. Come on, you Hatters. Bye.